chance to look over the minutes from our meeting for last month. Were there any questions? Motion to approve the minutes from last month.
A motion to approve minutes from last month?
And a second? Second. Okay. Okay, and we're gonna bump up Sobi's teen liaison report, so they're gonna go next.
Thank you. Yes, first of all, just my apologies to the board for not being here last month. I was dealing with academic events. It's been very dense, but there's nothing going on in the library of Henningsen High School. I've been checking in pretty recent. Yesterday, I believe I went to the library. We have actually been just doing great. We've canceled some stuff, like we can't go during town anymore, which is just small adjustments, but nothing that we can do as a library. Mm-hmm. You know, so that's about it. Okay. And anyways, I have to go to my Eagle Scout board review.
Yes, and
so.
good luck.
Thank you.
Very proud of you.
Okay, director's report.
Okay, first, otherwise I'll forget, Jillian was there to receive a proclamation from the mayor for the library board declaring April 2023 the Volunteer Appreciation Month in the city of Pflugerville. So that's awesome. And then last night I did a State of the Library presentation for the council in their work session. We used to do it in November and they moved it to April. So I kind of felt like I had just done it. So mostly what I did was just talk about what staff was going to be presenting at TLA. So that's how that went. So for the director's report, our numbers are looking really good. So I'm pretty confident about the estimation that we will hit pre-COVID numbers by 2024 in some areas, maybe not in all, but in a lot of areas we will for sure. If you haven't been into the stacks lately, we have put up new additional shelving, I should say, for the adult fiction and nonfiction. And we received the shelving for some other areas that we're going to expand in the library. We had our spring book buzz, which is always very, very popular, and Pet Fest, which I hear that you went to. That is probably one of my favorite. I say that about a lot of programs, but I think that might be my favorite program. We had some special guests during the spring break holiday. We had a nutrition series for our seniors. And the Friends of the Library had their quarterly book sale in March. They will be having another one in May, so it's not quite a quarter, but they're already getting full, so I've scheduled them in May. Also, coming up next Tuesday is their annual membership meeting, so if anybody's interested in learning more about the Friends of the Library and what they support, you're welcome to come. It will be at 6:30 in the Lane Tanner room on Tuesday. And that's it. Do y'all have any questions about? Yes.
I do. What are the topics that your staff is going to be presenting on at the conference?
So many different topics. Daniel will be presenting on tips and tricks, I believe, for consortium libraries for the Overdrive Consortium. And he can explain it much better than I. But he's doing that. We have our children's events coordinator will be presenting on STEM programming in libraries. One of our adult librarians will be a panelist on a program called Cats for the Common Good, which I think is amazing because we do a lot of animal programs here. And so it's just kind of across the board. So they will be, I think, every one of the professional staff except for Tiara, who is new, and I'll tell you about her in a minute, and our catalogers will be presenting. But everybody is on a committee or is an officer on a committee, and those committees range from everything from the Little Mavericks reading list to, intellectual freedom committee. So it's all across the board, generally within whatever their area of focus is. So yeah. Tiara Allen is our new marketing and outreach coordinator. We're thrilled to have her. She actually started at the library as a teen volunteer several years ago. And then she applied for a library tech part-time job and got it. And she worked here in that capacity for a couple of years. And then she went to college, and we lost her for a little while, but she's back with a BBA in marketing, all kinds of accolades, and she got a scholarship. She's an amazing person, and we're really excited to have her here. So she'll be doing marketing and outreach. And that's it.
And report on the Friends of the Library activities.
Okay, I kind of mushed it in with the director report, but the Friends of the Library are doing their annual membership meeting on Tuesday. They will also be presenting awards to, I believe, 3 of our teen volunteers. And they will be discussing a little bit about the kind of activities they participate. They do a lot of program support for the library, so they will be talking about that. They've also done support for our mobile hotspots in the past. Are they still doing that, Daniel?
Not this year.
Okay, yeah. In the past, they have done that. They work very hard for the library. The library is actually started by the Friends of the Library in They grouped together in 81, and then they started the library in 82. And the land that this building is on was donated by them. So they're an amazing group of people. That's it.
The proposed library-related bill movement.
Okay, so this is the movement on these bills as of 2:23 p.m. this afternoon. There has been some additional movement, nothing earth-shattering. Since then, it was mostly on the construction grants from the state library, and there was another one that was regarding academic libraries today, and those 2 items were referred to. I don't have them on this list, the latest referral, but I believe they were referred to different committees. The colors indicate bills that are virtually the same. So as you can see, there are 18 library-related bills that could affect all libraries, including public libraries, 8 academic bills, and 13 school bills. So those are bills that are just focusing on academic or school. The ones that we would be, well, I mean, you can be concerned with all of them, but the ones that are going to affect us are going to be the ones that are listed under all. I was going to print out the bills that were noodled around within the past week, but it was actually a huge amount of paper, so I didn't do that. But I will say that the bill, I think it's Senate Bill 1601, it is. This is the bill that would prohibit certain performances at libraries, including public libraries. In the bill, it states that if it is a man dressed as a woman or a woman dressed as a man, they cannot perform for children or read a book or anything like that. But they don't really define what they consider dressing as a woman or dressing as a man is, because that's a pretty subjective statement there. It had originally been that those libraries that allowed those performances would not receive state funding, but they have amended it to consider any library that's receiving any public funding, including municipal libraries. So for us, when we have things like Comic-Con or LibCon, I mean, is that going to be considered under that new law, something that's prohibited at the library? So there's a lot of stuff that we're just going to have to be keeping up with over the next few months. Well, actually, I guess by May, we'll know. By the end of May, when the session ends, we'll know for sure. But that's just an example of one of them. But it looks like a lot of bills, 39 bills, that's a ton. But as you can see, a lot of them are just repeats of the same wording. If you are interested in reading the bill text, then you can go to, just Google Texas Legislature, and you can go to the bill alerts. You can actually have them sent to your email address, which is what I do. You can also, if you set up an account with them, which it doesn't cost anything, but you can set up an account to receive those alerts. You can actually get a nice printout or printable list of the bills and the actions. And I tested it out today, and it is real time. So if you add a bill and then you go back and look at your list, it's on there. So yeah, it's pretty good. Any questions, concerns? Yes.
What's the penalty for that Comic-Con example? If somebody were to show up that way and you didn't know about it ahead of time, what's the penalty?
For the library, it would be not being able to receive any state or municipal funding. And the library is funded through the city of Pflugerville through tax dollars, so we could lose our funding.
Okay.
Yep. So,
And it looks like so far that's the only bill that has left their committee. Everything else, it looks like it's still in
Yeah.
some process in their committee. That's
yeah,
really
pretty
when it's gone
much.
to the chamber.
I expect to see a lot of movement in the next week or so. And that's really just a guess on my part, because this is the most I've ever paid attention to the Texas legislature. Should have been paying attention a long time ago. But yeah, so that is the one that really has been pushed through. People have asked me if I think these bills will go through. I do. I think they will. So what we need to decide as a library and a board is how do we continue to serve everybody equitably in the city and make sure that they have representation at their library without going to prison, for me. So, yeah, it's not great. Any ideas that you guys have, and please pass them along. But I'm going to continue to watch the bills, and I encourage you guys to also. That's all I, unless there's questions, that's all I have on that.
In that case, our final item tonight is discuss and consider approval of the commissioning of a sculpture, Knowledge is Power.
1 second.
Sorry. She was going to wait for the artist to get here, but we did. I should have told you these meetings are fast.
Yeah, I probably should have done that. Yes, I should have mentioned that.
Got one note, if you need a little bit of stall time.
Okay.
The next puzzle swap will be May 14th, Mother's Day. From around 1:30-ish to, well, from 1:30 to 2:15-ish. So the jigsaw puzzle swap will be May 14th. Mother's Day, bring your mother out to get a puzzle in these first 2 rooms, I believe.
Awesome. That was very popular, that last event.
I think we'll just go for it.
All right.
Yeah. And if the artist comes in, I'll
Okay.
he's more than welcome to speak on it as well. So, we are very excited about relaying to you that we are starting a public art program this year. City Council recently adopted goals and policies for this program just recently. And what the policies provides, it allows for the existing boards and commissions to review and consider public art proposals based off of the location. So for instance, the library board will be able to review any sort of public art proposal intended for permanent display at the library. The city recently conducted a national call for artists, specifically for sculptures, and has decided to forward this sculpture proposal to the board for consideration. I'd like to go ahead and mention where we intend to place the item. It's right as you pull in along this little meandering sidewalk. The concept is knowledge is power and represents the importance of knowledge and education. It's also and it's universal, that concept. Throughout the design, you'll see on a couple sides, 2 sides, that knowledge is translated into many different languages. One side will have these abstract patterns that kind of represent people, and some of them are pulled open. The specification, it's approximately 10 feet in height and 30 inches in width, consists of steel metal plates welded together, painted with powder coating. This powder coating will last a long time. It's for longevity purposes. And there is an option to internally light the sculpture by using a solar panel on the top of the eraser. This just shows the proposed slab, concrete slab that would go with it, and some of the anchoring fixtures. This represents the base, in case y'all were wondering about stability of the structure or the sculpture. There is a pipe. It is a 3-inch square pipe at the very bottom that holds it together. So there's a brace at the tip of the pencil, and it's bolted into the concrete slab. What are your thoughts?
Has it been ever, so it's like 5 pencils?
It's actually one pencil, and just kidding.
It's one pencil and then each of the sides.
And those are the different sides.
So, okay.
I like the idea that it's going to be lit, if we can make it lit up at nighttime, I think that'd be really nice. And the solar power is right on point with the environmental concerns that people have nowadays.
Do you like the concept at this location?
Can we go back to the main map?
Sure.
I mean, I think the only other place would be right in the middle of the Circle Drive. I mean, what do you think is the...
We have discussed putting something in that Circle Drive. I'm not sure that the pencil is the best one for that because it's very rocky.
Yeah.
And they're gonna have to drill down to get it to stand. But definitely, I think something eventually in that circle would be great.
Something bigger, too.
Yeah.
That's what I think that's a good spot because it's compact.
Yeah, I agree. What about, I guess the only other place that you might be able to put is in the courtyard, which really isn't pictured on the map. But centralizing the courtyard, you already got the concrete there that you can brace it to. Could you go back to the schematics of the pencil braced into the, has it been tested as to how much force it can stand before it bends?
No, it has not.
Because like if it's outside, we got a high school right next door. We want it to be sturdy enough that it's not going to break and that we have to replace it. In the courtyard would kind of prevent it from getting messed with. It would be under guard kind of technically. But I mean, if I tackle it and put my shoulder in it, is it going to snap off? I guess would be my concern.
Absolutely, and I think that this is something that we went back with the artist with, and they provided additional details on the bracing and also the pipe at the bottom that adheres to the concrete slab and welded. That was one of our major concerns. However, through that sort of process, we realized that any sort of sculpture that we get is susceptible to damage, especially
100%.
if someone really wants to damage it.
Can you go to the next page?
Sure.
I'm not a physicist or an engineer, so this may not be relevant, but just like wind speed, like that might be something we would also want to ask about at least. Like what could it withstand? Similarly, just don't want it to be dangerous.
Yeah.
So the light will be contained inside the eraser portion with the solar thing on top of the eraser?
The solar panel will be on top, and then it'll be internally lit. There'll be a little door at the bottom where you can access the lighting.
And do we have an estimated cost?
Yes, 10,000. Well, with the lighting, it's 12,000.
Without, it's 10,000? And this has already been approved by the Pflugerville City Council?
No, this is.
All right, so
you get this opportunity.
So they're gonna send it to us, and then they're gonna pay for it, though, right? Or does it come out of your budget?
It comes out of the city manager's
Oh,
budget.
well, heck, yeah.
For the portions of it that you said that like the people,
Uh-huh.
you said some of them were lifted. Like how much space would that be? Because going along the lines of roaming high school students, is there a chance they're going to get fingers or scratches from
Yeah.
messing with?
I think that it's probably about an inch that comes out. But we can, oh, well, the artist anticipated more time on the other items. But I can kind of check on that. It's my understanding that these are laser cut. So I would think that the edges would be quite smooth, but I can also ask the artist about that.
If we could get the artist in here with maybe a sample of that, just to see how pliable it is. Like a little, 2x2 sheet with a couple people in it, maybe.
What's the artist's name?
Olani. And he is a Pflugerville resident.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, so we just got back from Iceland and Ireland, and they had like art just like all over the cities, and I thought it was great. I took a bunch of pictures, all kinds of, making you think art. I think it would be outstanding to add to Pflugerville, and especially showcase it for the library. I like that a lot.
With that location where we have proposed right now, would there be sort of any disruption to the traffic flow during installation?
No, I don't believe so, no.
And is one of the panels going to say "knowledge is power" like that?
Yes. Mhm.
I like that location on the sidewalk because it's away from the traffic for little kids who might want to see it.
What's the library's thoughts?
We like it.
Yeah.
I think as opposed to putting it in a courtyard, I get the concern. It's more visible,
Yeah.
especially when we're closed, which is nice.
Yeah.
Can you pull up the scale again of what person's standing next to it?
Oh,
Is that
yeah. Oh, just kidding, wrong way.
is that?
Oh yeah, so it's about 15, 14, 15 feet tall.
It's 10 feet in height
10 feet?
and 30 inches in width, in diameter.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to tentatively approve this. Maybe we could revisit at the next meeting with the artist here and maybe a sample of the metal,
So a sample of the metal.
if possible. I mean,
You mean specifically the cutout?
the cutout, just to see if we can like bend it, kind of how sturdy it is.
Because I could also see if the kids figure out they can pop the little people
Yeah.
off, that becoming a fun thing.
If I was a kid, the first thing I would do is try to close all the people, stuff like that.
So, okay.
What are y'all's thoughts? Do you like it?
I do have an idea or a thought as well. If they're open, it might be very easy to put litter inside of it.
Yeah.
With it being so close to the high school.
It just makes it another trash receptor instead of blowing all over the yard, so that's actually a good thing.
And it'll have a little door at the bottom to access it.
Is it going to be yellow?
Yes. Oh, that's what is proposed, unless we have an alternative recommendation.
I like the yellow because that's like the standard pencil color.
Yeah. So, do y'all want to make a motion?
Is it possible to get the artist in here next month? Or?
I think
Yeah,
were-
they intended to be here tonight. I think that they saw that they were on the tail end of the agenda, so they didn't want to come at the very beginning.
You guys are just faster.
Yeah. I can check my email to see if I received any update.
Okay.
It's because we're so efficient.
Yeah. It's true. Historically, library board meetings have been very, get it done.
So I guess if we approve this, how long from approval to completed product?
So it takes a little while for contract management. So I would say that it would probably take about 3 months altogether.
And if we did not approve it, are there other artists or pieces in the queue behind this one, or?
So for the actual library or sculptures for the library, this was the only one that really fit some of the locations on site. Oh, perfect.
Hi.
Yes. Hi there.
Hello.
Perfect timing. So this is Alani. We just spoke about the sculpture, and they were interested in seeing a sample of the metal, if possible.
Alani, do you think you'd be able to cut like a little maybe a 1x1 piece with just like one guy in the middle, so we could see how?
I think what I did was that I brought you.
Oh, perfect. Oh, wow.
I came with this so that could help in you knowing what the design would look like. So.
We start down there and then just pass it.
Okay. So this
Yeah.
also is when you look at the design. I think on page 9.
If you like, you can use this if you.
And this is a representation of what one of the sides will be?
Yes, not all the whole size, but let's say on the page 9, I think there's something I wrote here. Page 9. Yeah, good. So on page 9, when you look at this, you see the bottom is what look like that paper. They are mostly what I did was it's just the same series of what you see at the top. But what we did was that put them together as a community, as a family. So, but in this pot up here, you see them as a single, and that's what you see here.
So I guess we're curious if you could bring us a piece of metal about this size, so we can see how bendable the metal is going to be on the piece of art. Would that be possible?
I don't know.
No?
Because as I said, I want to put this in this city which I live. The budget on it is really, really very low. But that is not my own main agenda. My agenda is to see that what I put in other city, as most of the time when my curators and friends comes here, I have to take them down to Austin or other places to see my work. So this, when I saw this, I was so happy to really be part of it. So I was not mostly about the budget, but to be able to put the works here as it's supposed to be. I could bring you a metal, but it might not be. I have metal in my studio, which already cut in this kind of shape, but it might not be exactly the thickness of the actual one, because what we are planning to use for this is 10 gauge thickness.
10 gauge, okay.
So the 10 gauge will be what we are going to cut the plate on and fold it. But the frame inside it, which the 10 gauge is going to wrap, is 3/4. So that means it's more times 2 of thickness of that 10 gauge.
And the metal plate that we kind of, I guess, pull open on certain things with all the designs, it's only pliable when hot, right? And that's, so whenever it's, I guess, in its final location, it's not as pliable.
No,
right?
it's not flexible.
Okay.
It is not. When you say flexible, we are talking about something like a
Yeah, I think
24 gauge.
Yeah.
But when you are talking of 10 gauge, I would say it's maybe let's see. Let's say half of this. That is what 10 gauge is. So the frame that is going to be here that we use is what strengthens it and what make it more stronger. As I remember, one of the questions you sent to me that was to ask, is it going to be frame inside? And I said yes, it's going to be frame inside, because that is what this plate is going to wrap. around
And you said the frame will be 3/4 of an inch
it. Yes.
thick?
No, no, no.
How far would this be open? Like what?
I think it's going to be between 60 65, not exactly 45 degrees. But as we are here, we can also talk about it, because one of the things is that even the reason why we put this that is going to be open is it's only one side of it, and it's going to be up. Because I'm thinking about children when they are going to play with it, putting their hands into it, or any other things. So these are going to be up.
Oh, like
If we-
higher than 5 feet or something?
Yes, it's
Okay.
higher than 5 feet.
I see.
So that, because the idea is going to be more of like something like that up. So it's not down. The down is going to be more of those connections of that kind of diamond into that bottom. Because I was thinking about children playing with it, able to engage with it, putting their hands into it. So one of those things. And also when we cut it, we are going to make sure that we grind all the edges. And that's where we're using laser. We are not using what do you call it? Water jet. Water jet, sometimes when you cut it, it has a lot of slats. But when you use laser, you cut it plain and sharp and very clear.
What would you think about, you've got 2 panels here with the words. If you had 2 panels here that are the same, and then 1 panel with words and the other one that said Pflugerville Library. So then you'd have 2, 2, and 2. You'd still be, just a thought. And I don't want to change your design or anything, but
I bow to the artist. I'm married to an artist.
what,
I will say this.
What do you think about
I will
it?
say this is to you is we are not creating works for just only photography library, but we are creating what we can do is, which I was talking about it was, even though I nominate yellow as paint for the sculpture, then at the same time in my studio I'm thinking about what is the color for photography itself. And I know that most of the times when I see their logos or see the writing, I see the green, dark green, something like that. So, and maybe blue also with it. So that would be something that we could look into to make it fit into the city. But at the same time, because being an artwork, we don't want to nail it to one particular place. We want it to be universal. And that is also one of the reasons when I selected the word, when you see the knowledge itself, I try to translate it into many languages. Because for me, I think the first places I fit in, my kids fit in when we move here, that we meet a lot of people is this library. So that is one of the reasons why I choose the library out of the 3 places where they want these sculptures to be. Because I feel it's a place that put everything together, put a lot of people together, and many people use this space. So I think I would say if you want photography to be written on it, you nail it to one place, you nail it to one particular place, and you limit the authenticity of that sculpture or that way.
I respect
I
respect your artist perspective, but as a library board member, I want it, specific to this location. I want it, a signature piece for the Pflugerville Library, and so my interest is for the Pflugerville Library.
Yeah, I know.
So
And
that's
that is
the
why
point
we
of view
choose
I'm
that
coming from. But
design.
I understand your point of view as well, too. So it was just, an idea to throw out there to see what everybody else thought.
I think if maybe perhaps a compromise could be like a plaque or something in front of it that describes, you and your art, and that it was for the library, like specific to. I mean, I feel like I feel like we should be true to the vision that is there as closely as possible, as safe as possible. That's my opinion.
I think everybody liked the idea of it being the yellow pencil.
Yes.
Yeah, so
I have a
don't
question
forget
about the letters also, so that's cut out,
Yes.
and so if it has the lighting inside, is that gonna be like panels or like rope lighting or like?
It's kind of a floodlight. I think the sizes of most of the one I've used recently will be double of that. Let's say 1 square and the second square, something like that. That will shoot from the bottom.
Okay.
Light everything.
So it's
panels. As I said, the idea was for me as we are changing and reducing the electricity that we use. So most of the sculptures I've been doing recently is using a lot of solar panel to power the works. So you don't need to pass any rope or anything. It just During the day, it takes its own energy, and then in the night, then it lights in.
Cool.
So
Cool. And how wide would the letters be for the knowledge is power one? Like how?
as I said, each side is 10 inches wide. So definitely we leave almost quarter-inch space between the side like this. So if it's 10 inches, maybe we are talking about around 8 inches long, long, and then the wide will be possibly around 2 to 3 inches each letter. So it's going to be bold enough for you to see.
I used to work at an art museum,
Yes.
and I know working with different artists, it's important to respect the artist's vision and the original design that you have there. And I could see how you want to keep it this way because it's very universal with the yellow color and with the different languages and stuff. It's very, very universal, and I like the way it is because that way people from outside Pflugerville might want to seek out your work, and it could even be a tourist attraction of sorts.
I think it's one of those reasons why, as I said, it is not, because when I was designing, my assistants in the studio was like, "Sir, this is too much for this money." And I told them, I said, it's not about the money, it's about my city, it's about where I'm living. And the thing I put somewhere else, I want to put it in my own city. And I want to see it. And because the idea of it is, when I will choose pencil, it's also thinking of what is library, what is happening in library, what is the function of library. It's a place where we do research, where we do knowledge, where we look for wisdoms. And at the same time, so I'm looking for, I could decide to use book, I could decide to use what, for me, and also that's also when we look at it, how do we want to really install it? Do we want to stand it? Do we want to use the eraser to be the bottom? Do we want to make to sleep? And in these three forms, it has its purpose, it has its meaning. When we say it's standing, it means like you've done your research, you are writing something down. And when we say we are putting the bottom down as the eraser, as the where it sits, that also we are thinking of, okay, you've done your research, you make mistake, which is for me, I feel success doesn't come just like that. There is a failure, and the failure is the stepping stone to get to the success. So it's like you make some mistake, you are cleaning it, and then at the same time. So if you make it sleep directly on the floor, it's also at the same time you are doing your research, you are relaxing, and the pencil is laying down. So it could depend on how we decide to install it. It will always have its meaning and relate to the library.
I would also want to verify that all of the languages were accurate.
Yes.
I don't know if you've already done that, but just so that I feel really good about what we've put on there. You know, like you don't want like a bad tattoo kind of situation.
It's already in the folder I sent to you. You could Google it, you could talk to people. Before I have to send it to you, I have to do my research. I have to talk to a lot of people. And I think one of the projects also recently, which I think we installed last year in November or December, was at the new building in the, what do you call it, at the Travis County's, what do you call it, family court, civil court that they just built. If you go to the plaza at the top, you will see a kind of, it's more like an umbrella, which looking into like justice. And the same kind of ways we try to see how we are trying to bring people together of different languages and other things like that. So it's something that I've been trying to see on how to make it work, not just for this moment, but for some years to come.
Have you designed other sculptures with that sort of unique, because obviously when you're looking at it, I like what you said about the way the pencil rests, and you thought about that, and but with that more narrow bottom, and I know we saw the schematic with everything bolted in, but it's something, just make sure like wind speed or overactive teenagers, they're not going to be able to knock it over.
Yeah, I have one web which is recently we just finished it and we are installing it the same way that it's going to. It's more like a pyramid. From the bottom, it's like that sharp, and then it's come and then it comes. It has so it's more different from the way it is installed. I think the last page which I sent to you was from when you were asking about engineering. Yeah, no, the one before this. Yeah, this is the same pattern. When you look at that, we have that fee. But I took it from there because it is the same idea of installing that and the same idea we are planning on using this. because every works inspire you and you make mistake with it, you see how that works out and you see how you improve on that. So that changes how, as I said. I also said, if you are not comfortable, you don't want it to be the mouth down, you want the bottom so that it's more stable. At the same time, I'm here to listen and I'm here. That can easily be changed. We can decide that the mouth of the pencil is up and the bottom of the eraser becomes. So
I like the way it is with that.
I like the way it looks, I just wanna
Yeah.
make sure that
Yeah.
no one can push it over.
all that is part of what we've planned. Because I have my kids coming here and my kids want to push it. My kids, they play with this, they play with sculpture, they want to touch it. So, and I have to think of that, the security of what is.
Any other questions?
I mean, before I vote, I would like to see a piece of metal with like maybe just one bend out cutout before I approve it, just so I could do my due diligence. But yeah, I mean, I like the project as well.
So we table for,
Well, anyway, yeah, I'm just one person. You guys don't need to go with what that's my personal thoughts. If you guys want to approve it, you can absolutely approve it.
Can we approve tentatively on?
May I ask why you are so much interested about the bending?
Just because I want to touch the metal and feel it. Just my responsibility is to the library, and I want to feel it. I want to see if I can bend
Worry
it.
about the thickness.
I want to see what thickness it is. I want to see if it'll cut. I want to see one little square of a person cut out. Because when you're commissioning a piece of work, after it's up and you've got it, there's no complaint after that. That's
I
what
have
you
the
got.
same size in my studio, but it is not cut or bent. I collected it yesterday because I was trying to experiment on something. I think it's a letter, and I was trying to ask them to see possibility of. We are thinking of S and T and Y on that letter because we were thinking of opening it, and then we are thinking of what is possible ways if we cut it and open it. What way will you open and how possible is it going to be? So I think yesterday they sent me one. I could give
Yeah,
you that.
I'd love to see it.
But it is not the design. It is not. So
That'd be perfect.
that I don't know how long you are here in my house. It's just I could drive in and bring it for you to see. It's, for me, because I have to know if this is going to be possible or it's not going to be possible. Because I have project and I want to make sure that before I travel, I want to put things in the particular place and say that okay, this I've committed to do it, and I want to know if I'm going to do it or I'm not going to do it. So if we can make this happening today and know where we are going about it, then I can know how my schedule will be with that.
I'm willing to stay here and wait, but I can't speak for anyone else.
Would it make you feel more comfortable if you put the open ones even higher than the 5 feet, so that way the teenagers can't reach it?
No, I mean, it's not the fact that I'm uncomfortable. I believe that it's going to be hard to push or anything, but I would like to do my due diligence for the library as far as my only concern is the library, right? I'm not interested. Like, I'm going to be honest. Like, and I'm not trying to offend you, but I'm not concerned with hurting your feelings or anything like that.
No, that is not
Like-
my feeling. I like to have work with the community.
Right, and
because I want to communicate. I want to contribute to it. Because most of the times I've noticed that when we do sculptures, community doesn't know about it. The city maybe commission it, and then they open their eyes one morning. The work is already installed. So then they ask a lot of questions. What is this? What does it mean? But if we bring it to you like this and we talk about it and you bring opinion into it, I like to answer all those opinions.
I
so
think
that
we
it
all
becomes
want to
part of
approve
it.
the project. I
Yes.
think we all want to approve the project.
well, we can, as a board, decide if we want to take a recess, and he can go and collect the sample and bring it back, if everyone's open to that.
Somebody needs to make a motion.
Yeah, so make a,
I'll make a motion that we take a small recess to go get the piece of metal.
I have to
Second.
go home and bring that.
Do we have a second?
Second, the recess.
This is the thickness, 10 gauge.
This is going to be 10 gauge?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's strong. That's real strong.
And if you are thinking of how the letter also will look like, it will be something like that. So
But much larger.
much like that.
Yeah.
And this is 10 gauge also.
Okay. This is smaller than that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So this is this I bought this because so that you have feelings of when they paint it or finishing it somehow how it's going to look like with your hand.
This is after it's painted.
Yes, after it's powder coated.
How
I-
much? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I can see it from here, sir. It's very heavy duty. Yeah.
Yeah,
I got it.
that is
Thank you.
image. That is what
You
we are
can
folding to
see that it's-
do the outside.
Yeah.
How much space would be between like the outside plate and the frame? So like if anybody could
So like,
like
you can
shove trash or
show
things,
it.
would there
Yeah,
be gaps
this is-
that things could get
No, no,
in there?
the plate is laying on the frame.
Okay.
This
So
one's
it's
super
not
heavy.
like
Cool.
gaps.
Okay.
It's going to be on the frame because that's what supporting because it's going to be like the plan is when we are because and that's also one thing we need to decide if because I propose that we put light into it, but that is a proposal. It's not part of the body as we discussed. But if we are going to do that, I have to plan it with fabrication right from the beginning. Because so that the idea was because if it is light in there,
Yeah, thank you. Looks great.
it will need, sometimes something happens and you want to get in, but there's no place to get in. So if we plan it right from the beginning, before we fabricate it, then it will be easy that we remove some part out and then you can go in, you can repair whatever, if there's light, it's a problem with the cable or anything, and then you can bring that back. So that's what we planned was that, and you look at this, it has 6 sides. So we are thinking of one side of 3 sides will be like open. So we bring that back, then we screw those sides, and then that becomes like a cover. So, and with that, if anything happens, you can take that out, you can go in and then repair it.
I like the lighting function and I like that it's solar powered.
I think a lot of cities which have worked with and companies love the idea. You don't have to spend more money, you don't have to be thinking much about it. Even though, as I said, it changes as things are developing. Better power solar, solar panels will come in another 2 to 3 years, and that's this. Most of the one you have now that we are using now, at least 3 years to 4 years, you can change the battery. And you can, at that time, you might have another one which is better than that, which might last for another 10 years or something. And the way it's going to be installed, the way it's going to be put together, will be easily to just take another panel, put it there, put it in, and then power it with another, with light or the same another different light. So we will do it in a way that it is easier, even if I'm not around or if something happens, somebody else can take care of it.
Okay.
I want to thank you for bringing these in, putting my concerns at rest. I fully believe that this thing will stand for ages to come. And I would like to
I have one question for you.
Yes.
So it says yellow for the body, brown for the eraser at the top. What
Yeah,
do you
that's what I think I wrote before, but eraser is not brown, it's more like,
Okay.
I think,
Pink.
I think I came with something also. Because we are talking about the colors.
Uh-huh.
So, it's powder coating. If it is paint, it could just be like white. So, but in powder coating, what we plan to do is that this side of the eraser is going to be separate. The mouth, which is the cone, and the base is going to be the same. So, and then everything comes together. So this area will be the same. So this is yellow. So I was thinking, I think I choose 1007. Might be. I think I choose this one for the body. But you don't like that. We have varieties of yellow. But I'm looking at pencil and what colors are really comes with it most of the time. It's not a bright yellow. It is kind of. So I choose that. But these are related. So if you don't like that, you can just go for that. And that is for the body.
Okay.
So, and then the cone, which is here, which is more like when you chop it, you know, the pencil, the wood. So I'm thinking of 1017, I think something like that.
That's 10.
Yeah, that's.
Okay.
We can decide on any of those cone because or these, any of that. For me, I brought you chart to look at it, and then when you choose it, I just mark it, and that will be what I will do for you, sir.
And then what color for the eraser?
Eraser, I'm thinking of, I think 327. 327, something like that. And then I saw 314.
Yeah, I like
So,
that.
yeah, okay, so
Yeah.
we say 314.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
314, yep.
You wanna come look at the, I feel like, so you said 10, this was the,
1007.
that's the
That's the
yellow, I
bottom.
like
That's
that.
good.
I like
That's
that.
accurate.
I
You
think,
like the 1007.
This is the
yeah,
eraser.
and that's the eraser. I think that I would rather lean toward one of those as
Okay.
opposed to that for the cone, to feel like more of a wood.
I think I would rather lean
Or a
toward
white.
like a tan. I don't even. I'm horrible with
I
colors.
think that should say this
But-
or this. They are very, very
Oh,
close.
okay, yeah, I like that one.
You should also think, because that place is going to be more down. And you have to
More
think rain, cutting grasses, dirty of it.
I would lean
So
towards
you
the
should
darker
think
one.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah,
This
the
one's dark.
darker one.
Yeah, I like
That one.
those.
Okay.
I like that one.
One,
That
two,
is 1001.
Choose some color palette. You want to get in on that, Jeff?
Great.
No, let you guys handle this project.
Because we need to think of cleaning and maintenance. If you choose colors which is shh, then you have to employ somebody to always care for it, come and clean it. But you want public sculptures just at least once in a year or in 2 years before you say you want to come to clean anything. I always propose that because everybody's busy. And it costs you less not to be thinking of cleaning
And then with the pencil tip, is that going to be a different color or no?
No. That is one of the things is, as I said, it's all about the money. And when you are going more colors, I would have wished that even the area here, which is the metal that goes with the pencil, should be different color. If like me as an artist, but all is also adding more to the cost of what we are going to.
Well, that's okay. That means that they're learning so much that the lead is already gone because we wrote so much.
We just won't have them clean the very
I
bottom.
was just about to say the same thing. I was like, we'll just leave the dirt at the bottom.
So that's what I was saying. One of the things that I don't know if you noticed that is that in the design it's divided into. Let me see, where is that page? Yeah, when you look at it, it's only one side of that is going to be open and close, and I think that is only this area. So the rest is going to be perforated like this. So I just want to be clear because so that you know that is how it look like.
Do you have a direction for the sun? Is there that if the sun would go through to cast shadows, or have you thought about that?
I think it is debatable. It is when we place it that we are going to play with the sun.
Okay, cool.
Because for now, you have to think in the morning, you have to think in the afternoon. And we want to look at both sides and see when it is more. So in the evening, the direction of the sun is going to change. And with these sculptures, it has all the angles. So you have perforated in every angle. So you are going to have this shadow cast in different angle of it. So it's not like maybe one side is closed or some other side is closed. So you will have inflowing throughout.
Like a sundial.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then last question, was there the epoxy resin would seal what on this?
Oh yes, the idea was because when we do the concrete, it's going to be 24 inches down.
Okay.
So we have 4 inches in that this is going to sit in. So when we drill and put the anchor in, we are going to put that anchor. That anchor is mostly used for install and for anchor, for me to be more sit and keep up.
Okay. Okay.
Do we have a motion to vote for approval?
I make a motion to vote for approval as given to us at the meeting for the costs that we've discussed.
Second?
Second. Okay. All those in favor for approval?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
Motion approved.
Cool.
You don't have to motion to
Okay,
adjourn.
and if there's no further business, we can adjourn our meeting.
All
Forgot
right.
about that part.